Trying to get it together here.
Hey, Charlie.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm better now. I'm with all of y'all.
Wonderful.
I'm such a suck up.
2 minutes out. Hi, everybody.
Hello,
Good
everyone.
evening. Good evening.
Hey, Tracy. Hi, Brenda.
Right, it looks to be 6:30 and looks like everybody is online. Welcome again, everybody. Another happy Tuesday night. So here we go. And before we start the meeting, I'm going to have the town clerk take into account a statement on the logistics for tonight's meeting and then do the roll call attendance. So Melody, the floor is yours.
Good evening. I just wanted to go over a couple logistics with regards to this meeting. Just make sure to keep your video on and to mute yourself when you're not talking. With regards to how board members are going to participate in this meeting, the mayor will be calling on each of you individually to provide comments and votes. When voting, please remember to identify yourselves by stating your name and your vote. If you would like to speak at any point during the meeting, please raise your hand and be mindful of your background. If we are in the middle of a presentation and you are raising your hand but not being called on, please feel free to speak up. Most importantly, we want to make sure that board members are able to participate in this meeting fully. So if you experience any technical difficulties, please make sure to text me. Next, we need to take the roll call. Please indicate if you are present. Mayor Ronald Pappas,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Brenda McMillan,
Present.
Commissioner Jason Hall,
Present.
Commissioner Ann Simpson,
Commissioner Simpson, present.
Commissioner Tracy Westlake,
Present.
Commissioner Pedro Moray.
Commissioner Moore, present.
Thank you. All members are present. Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you.
Great, thank you very much. All right, this meeting, November 23, 2021 is now called to order. So if you would please join me in standing and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and then remain standing for a brief moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate that. Item up is the adoption of tonight's agenda. Are there any changes requested to tonight's agenda? Seeing no hands, if I might have a motion from the floor to adopt tonight's agenda as published. I'll rush
So
up.
moved.
We have the motion up to adopt tonight's agenda as published. We'll start with Mayor Pro Tem.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Commissioner Simpson,
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Commissioner Moray,
Commissioner Moore, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
back to Commissioner Westlake.
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Very good. Thank you very much. We are as published. So thank you for that. Understand that there are no items, no general public comment items tonight. So we're going to drop down to the consent agenda. Looking for a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda as published.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to adopt as published. So I'm going to start back with Mayor Pro Tem.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Commissioner Moray,
Commissioner Moore, aye.
right. Commissioner Westlake,
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
back to Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Very good. Thank you very much. Move on to the next item. We have nothing that I see on recognitions, presentations, or public hearings. So we'll move down to old business. And with that, I'm going to pass the baton over to our town clerk, Melody Schuler.
Thank you, Mayor. So Waxhaw's advisory boards and commissions currently have 12 term positions and 5 midterm vacancies that the board will need to consider filling on 5 of the 6 advisory boards. As a reminder, the board just appointed members to the planning board at their last meeting on November 9th. All of their advisory boards still have positions available for appointment. A slate of candidates for these openings have been provided to the board for your consideration. Once the board has discussed and agreed upon the candidates for appointment, the board will be able to adopt the slate of candidates through a motion. So real quick, I'll go ahead and share my screen so that you can see the slate. All right, do you see my screen?
I do.
Okay, great. So if you all are ready to go ahead and start discussing.
Okay, very good. On these, we had talked about earlier to some, if not all of us, about looking at the recommendations of the board chairs And unless we had any specific comments to any of those, if we had any discussions with those board chairs, we would adopt the slate as either they had requested it or we make a motion to adopt it with any recommended changes to that. So with that, I want to open it back up. And Melody, if you could, let me see if I can kind of change my screen here so I can see more people on my view. So with that, does everybody have this screen available to them? And then what's highlighted into the yellow, Melody, if you would share with everybody again why that's highlighted that way?
Certainly, yeah. So the term appointments are not highlighted, just trying to identify the ones that are highlighted in yellow. Those are the midterm vacancies, which mean that they may serve maybe 1 year in that position or just the unexpired term. And there are 5 of those.
Any discussion? We can handle this in a couple of ways. We can make it a motion to adopt as recommended or adopt with any proposed changes to any of the selections by the chairs. So let's open it up with that with some comments if you have a thought, or go right into a motion. Anybody raising their hand? Okay, I see Commissioner Simpson. You go first.
Sure. I think we can see what everybody else would like to do, but I think it might be easier to go through board by board, and maybe as we discuss each candidate, maybe Melody in real time can put their name in as we go through there, and then we can adopt it as a slate after.
Okay.
You can do that.
Okay. Any other thoughts and comments? Okay. Consensus of doing just, oh, wait, here we
Well, I
go.
was just gonna say, yeah, it would certainly be helpful to name the order of rankings that are on the list, because I'm still a little bit confused what we're doing here. So like I saw there's say the historic preservation, we have Terry Settle as the chair, then Leslie Kellum 1, Kristen Messinger 2, Paul Fitzgerald 3. So is that considered the top 4 on the matrix that we're talking about?
So one point of clarification on the ranking matrix. The only chair that is up for reappointment is Terry Settle. So you all will need to consider her for HPC. And I don't know for sure if she had applied for the PASJ. I think that she had. So that would be the only consideration. All the others, the chairs are listed as an applicant. It's just indicating really that they were the interviewer. And then one other piece to note is that, again, the MSAB, they ranked all their number 5s are their top priorities. They kind of did it in reverse.
Hey, did I see also Commissioner Hall, you had a comment? Did I see your hand go up?
Yeah, I was just curious, Melody, if you had the list of who the town committees were recommending to fulfill these positions. I have mine
Absolutely.
filled out. I was just kind of wanted
The ranking matrix. Okay, yes.
right. So I have the ranking matrix, but there's multiple candidates for the same candidate for multiple committees, and so that's why I had that question.
Got it. Yeah, so I'm actually sharing the ranking matrix. Do you all see the Excel spreadsheet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So do you
Would you
all
like-
want to
would you like
work
to
on
go
the
board?
ABC?
Yeah, once you go, if you want to, then if we're going to go down this road, go board by board, and we can go back and forth between these two screens. So when we have a specific board come up, if
Yeah.
you could slide the ranking matrix
Yeah.
up there while there's any discussion, does that work for everybody?
That works.
Yes.
That's a good idea. And yeah, we
Question,
just-
sorry.
Go ahead, Ann.
The question I have is on the ABC board, Mr. Taylor, I know we just appointed him to the planning board. Does he want to serve in both boards? Did anybody clarify with him?
So in talking with Barbie, it sounds like he's indicating that he will continue serving on the ABC board as the chair, provided they still want him to serve as a chair. They select the chair each year.
So he would like to continue to serve on both boards then?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So why don't we bounce back and forth? Why don't we go to the other screen, Melody, if that will start it out, and let's talk about that ABC board. So go ahead from there, and then, you can flip back and forth between the matrix and this.
Okay, sure. So the number one pick for the ABC board was Athanasios,
no,
which he's a current board member on the
Mhm.
ABC board.
Just a question, does that mean that person would be appointed instead of Trey Taylor? Because we only have one appointment for ABC, or it would be,
That's correct. And again, Trey is not, his term ends next year on the ABC board.
so
You gotta
he,
remember, these are the vacancies.
correct. So we have one person to appoint, but Trey is still on there for another year.
Right,
right.
that's correct. He
Okay, so
was
we
the
just
one
need to
interviewing.
disregard that first top line on the
Yes.
matrix. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
So their first recommendation is Athanasios.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with that.
Let's
I
get
agree with
some
that too.
consensus around, and let's say do it. Anybody got any opposition to it? Seeing no hands, check one off, Melody.
Okay, perfect.
Drop down to the HPC.
All right, so again, we have, let me get back to it. 4 positions, 3 are full term, and 1 is a midterm that ends in 2022.
Now, the 4 positions, that also includes Terry Settle, who has to be appointed again.
That's correct, yes. So right
Okay.
now, and of course, she didn't rank herself. And normally what we would do, we would talk with that chair, but to see if, if they want to serve.
She would
Which-
like to continue serving. She didn't know that she needed to rank herself. So that's
Okay.
why that was left blank and there was no ranking for her because she didn't know that she needed to.
Yeah, and
But
so.
she would like to continue serving, and I would nominate her for that 3-year spot.
I would second that.
Great.
Okay, so it looks like, Jason, I saw your hand go up.
No, I was agreeing with Pedro and Brenda.
Okay, so it looks like we have to appoint 4, and there are 4 candidates, correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
So unless anybody's got any issues, are we all in consensus with the 4 that are up there right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that was easy.
I would like to, I had a discussion with the chair of the committee, and I wasn't sure if all 4 would be the best fit for this. The bottom 4 are non-residents, and it doesn't appear that they can sit on this because of residency is requirement. I mean, if everyone's consensus on putting those 4, I can support that.
Everybody good with that?
Did you have another person to nominate for one of the spots?
I thought Terry Settle, Leslie, and Kristen were fine. I just, there was a question after I did speak with the chair about if the 4th person should be appointed, or if we should leave the seat open till we could find someone with some more historic preservation knowledge and information.
Anybody else's thoughts?
Now, is that something that we can do, is to leave that fourth spot open now, or do we need to fill it?
You can
That's
leave it open.
correct. You can leave it open.
Does anyone else have any questions about that?
I just, I'm not understanding the reasoning behind it. Former Commissioner Fitzgerald was the one who helped restore the McDonald House and has a great interest in historic preservation. So I'm not understanding why there's no support for him on that board.
No, there is support for him. There was just a question raised. So it's just, if anyone else had a question. If not, then I think that the four that were here were going to be appointed to the board.
Right, he would be the fourth, no?
Right. So it was just, did anyone else have a question?
And I just want to be clear, I also like this person as well and support him. I was just, through a discussion that I had with the chair, there was, just possibly, was that the best candidate out of what we had, or if we should leave it open?
Well, if I was going to weigh in on it, it looks like the chair did part of the ranking.
Mhm.
And so if that's the case, if the chair is comfortable with all of her rankings, then I say we let the chair manage her own board.
I agree.
I support that.
Okay, so we have consensus on all the empty spots on that. Everybody, any opposition to any of that, what we just talked about? We can move up to the next one, the Main Street Advisory Board.
All right. So hold on. All right. So there are 3 full terms and 3 midterms. The midterms will end next year. These are the top candidates that, and Priya had provided feedback to me. They really wanted Valanda Covington. James Hill was the number 1. Valanda Covington and Kathy Liebfried were second choices for them.
Okay, so let's look at the ranking. So the 1 means first choice by the chair. The 2s mean second choice. Do I even see a 2?
So that
See David?
MSAB, they did it opposite. They said that their 5s were their number 1, basically number 1s.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, does everybody get that? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 number 5s that are selected. We're looking for 5 positions again. Is that what it is?
6 positions.
6 positions. So
Yeah.
they
So
did not.
one thing to consider here is that the ranking for PCR, that they have 3 positions open. James Hill is recommended for PCR as well as a top applicant for MSAB.
And also Kathy Liebfried in her, in our interview with her when we were doing planning and Board of Adjustment, she also indicated that she was interested in Parks and Rec as well, because she has event planning background.
Melody, can you read those names again of their top 5, the chair's
Their
top 5?
MSAB top 5. They really like James Hill. And then they liked Valanda Covington. I would say I'm putting these both as 2s because I didn't rank those. She just indicated that both of those were really good candidates.
So let's go back to that to make it clear again, because this is a reverse. So the chair's recommendation is all the 5s, correct?
Right.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fives. Do I see that right on the screen?
Yes, that's correct.
So of those in the chair's selection, how does everybody feel about any of those candidates? Say it now. You got any thoughts about any of them?
I really
I'm-
liked Kathy Liebfried when we interviewed her. She seems to really enjoy event planning and has experience in that. So she would be one that I would recommend.
But again, on the slate up here, that's what I'm looking for. If the slate is 6 fives for 6 positions, does anybody have any opposition to the chair's selections?
I'm comfortable and support all of the 6 fives.
Hey, everybody else, thoughts?
Yep, I'm comfortable in supporting the committee's selection.
I
But
agree.
aren't we just needing 4 of the 6?
So we need 6 total. We would have 3 full term and then 3 that would drop off next year. So you would take James Hill, Valonda Covington, and Kathy Liebfried for the full terms. Since they
Yes.
were the top
Yeah.
picks.
Yes.
I think that would be appropriate. Mr. Moore, any thoughts?
I'm good with those 6 as recommended by the chair.
So we know the first 3, we know the second 3, so that fills all 6. Any other thoughts on those? All right, Melody, you can fill in the blanks.
Right.
Give you a couple of moments to do that.
Thank you.
But you know any good jokes? So.
All right, we're good with the MSAB. Next up, PCR. We've got 3 full-term positions, and these 2 were the ones that you all added at the last meeting. And it balances out when the terms are dropping off.
Just to clarify, is Mark Mompson up for reappointment?
He's not.
Okay.
So their top picks for PCR began with the 1, so Amy Clark, Christina, and James Hill. So again, we just selected James Hill and Emily Weigel for the MSAB.
I'm also going to throw Kathy Liebfried's name out again, who has that event planning. Also spoke with her recently, and I know that she's been in contact with the Parks and Rec director as well because of her background. She also is someone that I'm throwing out to be considered.
Hey, is she on that list that we see? I've got a small screen, unfortunately, that I'm looking at here.
She wasn't on that
She's not.
because she did not interview. She interviewed when we interviewed for planning board. And in speaking to her, her background was more appropriate for Main Street or for Parks and Rec because of, her events and working with events and all sorts of things that setting up and like that. So that was her real desire to be on something like this. So that's why I'm putting her name out there as well.
Does the chair know this?
I don't know if the chair of this committee knows it. I do know that the Parks and Rec director, Dina Sabinski, does know that.
So are we saying that we have a write-in?
I'm saying that I'm putting her name out there as well for consideration.
Okay, so again, going down the road, if we are looking at the chair's recommendations, that's where I probably lean to first. But if there's any opposition to any of those, then of course, speak up now. And if
I would
you-
like to, I'm comfortable with Amy Clark and Christina Acklone, 1 and 2. I know we just appointed James Hill and Emily Wagle. I'd like to maybe consider Michael Pappas because he has greenways and trail planning experience for the third choice.
I agree. I would go with Michael Pappas mainly because the chair has interviewed them and put them in the ranking and has not had a chance to interview Kathy. And she was a choice for the Main Street, so it seems appropriate to leave her there.
Do you want to leave a blank space and let the chair make an additional recommendation in the near future?
So
You know-
would we, if you're putting out Michael Pappas for this, would that be in the third spot instead of James Hill?
Correct.
Okay, I'm comfortable with that too.
I concur. He's got a nonprofit experience also.
So let's fill in the blanks and see what it looks like. Melody, take your time. It's okay.
Thank you. All right, there you go.
Board, we've talked about these things. These are 3 positions that are open, and these look to be a combination of, well, actually, it looks like everybody's choice. So is that what I see back on there? Did I miss one? So Amy, Christina, and Michael are the 3 choices, and they were already vetted by the chair, correct?
That's correct. I see Jason has a question.
Jason?
Yeah, I was just gonna trying to echo what Commissioner McMillan was saying, in that I too got kind of the same information from Kathy, and so I was just kind of curious if perhaps we should leave this this one blank until the chair has an opportunity to talk to her, because I know that Kathy has reached out to the director and has been proactive in that way.
Can. Melody, do we have any time constraints on this that we have to appoint tonight?
No, no time constraints.
Okay. If the board wishes to do that, is that the consensus of the board? To hold a blank spot until we can now resubmit this one candidate to the chair for additional consideration? Is that what we're looking at?
Melody, I have a question regarding that. Is there somebody who will be terming off next year? Because that might be an opportunity at that point if she wants to go there. Because if I understand or remember correctly, when we interviewed her, she recently moved to the area. Maybe if she got her feet wet and got a little bit more comfortable under the Main Street board, then maybe next year when we have an opening might be a better time to appoint.
Actually, yes, there would be 3 positions available next year. That would be moving into a full term at that point.
Your thoughts on that comment?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm fine with that.
So are we back to the 3 candidates that are up there on the screen right now? And again, they've already been vetted and selected by the chair. Is everybody good with the selections right now? And then let the chair additionally consider the next steps.
I think
That's
that
fair.
plus if somebody between now and then also, if anybody resigns or things change, I think she should put her name back in or at least reach out so that, she'd be available too.
Well, remember also that at any time that chairs could come to us and request a change for any reason, and we have the authorization to make those changes for them. So I don't know that I'd be too worried, and saying that kind of loosely, but I don't know I'd be too worried about any midterm changes that we need to make. So if everyone has comfort level with the three that are up there, are we in consensus with that right now? Everybody else, any opposition? Additional comments? All right, I don't see any up there. Melody, let's jump to the next one.
Oh, shoot.
So we've got the public art selection jury. We got 2 full terms and then 1 midterm ending next year.
Melody, just a question, is Terry Settle up for reappointment on this too, or is she not?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
And so one of the things about this board is that I believe that all of these positions Barbie, could you help me on this? Some of these positions have to be filled by citizens and other positions have to be filled by other people serving on other advisory boards. Like I think it was historic
It's
preservation.
Planning board, I think historic preservation and Main Street.
Okay. And so, and those are current members.
Correct.
So we have 3 spots and we've got how many candidates up there?
So Terry serves on HPC, Amy serves on PCR, and Kristen Messenger will be serving on, I think it was HPC. Yes.
Yes.
And is, let me remind myself, is Terry chairing that as well? Do I see that way?
I think she is currently. And Dina says she needs Terry.
Well, that's an endorsement. That's great.
Sorry.
So we have, and Terry's not up, is that correct? She's not up for,
She is up.
She
Yeah,
is up.
because her term on PASJ expires along with her HPC term.
or are we looking for Terry and 2?
Yes.
Right. So by the rankings, are we comfortable by the rankings of the chair's selection? Or any other thoughts or comments?
I'm comfortable with the
Who,
ranking.
who are we selecting now? Terry, Amy, and Kristen?
That's the way the rankings show right, well, actually the rankings show right now, Terry, Amy, and Paul. Okay, so again, if we're taking the chair's recommendations, that's the way it would fall. If we have any other comments about those choices, then air them now.
Well, I think the only question I had was the point that Barbie was just making is that there might be a requirement for them to come from different boards.
Mhm.
And so
Excuse
do-
me, different committees. Yeah.
Right, and so do the rankings reflect that, Barbie, do you know?
No, as based on the matrix, no, that wasn't a reflection on their recommendation for these folks. No.
So currently Amy Clark is serving on PASJ and so is Terry Settle, which they're both serving on 2 separate boards. And looking at it, I remember that there were 2 members that needed to be citizens. And the 2 that are currently serving on there, Carrie Togweiler and Sarah Claprock, are both citizens. So I think that by appointing Terry Settle, Amy Clark, and Kristen Messenger would fill the requirements of the membership on the PASJ.
Okay, and all of these are obviously vetted by the chair right now, it's just a different ranking.
That's correct.
Hey, so I guess the question goes back to, is the board comfortable with Terry, Amy, and Kristen?
Just for clarification, Why are we skipping Paul Fitzgerald? Is it because he's being appointed?
So the reason being there is they have to serve on also one of the other boards, the HPC, MSAB, and
But we just, we're appointing him to HPC. So wouldn't he fit
Yeah.
that?
He is on HPC. We just
Okay.
just appointed him there. So he
Just look
would be
back at
able to
the-
serve them.
yes, he would be.
So
Sorry
that makes
about
him
that.
eligible, all right?
Yes.
Yes, that makes him eligible.
So back to it. Looking at the chair's ranking. Are we comfortable with the chair's ranking to fill those first three positions?
Yes, I am.
Consensus around, any nays to that? All right, looks like we're in consensus there. So Melody, type them in again.
Right.
Give you a couple of minutes to do that.
All right, there you go.
All right, it looks like we've filled in all the blanks. So if we filled in all the blanks, unless there's any further discussion, I'd be looking for a motion to approve this slate of candidates.
I'll make a motion to adopt the slate of candidates for appointment to Waxhaw's advisory boards and commissions as displayed.
Okay, we have the motion up for these approval of these candidates here. So roll call, Commissioner Westlake,
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Commissioner Morey,
Mr. Maury, aye.
Commissioner Simpson,
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McMillan,
Brenda McMillan, aye.
back to Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Outstanding. Thank you, everybody. One and done. I like it. Move down to new business. And with this one, I'm going to pass the baton over to Town Manager Jeff Wells. Jeff, are you? Yeah, there you are. You're on the screen. Jeff, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everybody. I'm delighted to provide a quick summary on the bidding process for Downtown Park Phase 1. I will share the screen and hopefully everybody sees the presentation there. So Downtown Park Phase 1, of course, we've all have seen this this plan multiple times, the colored site plan, but just for the people that may be watching or listening for the first time, Downtown Park Phase 1 includes most of the on-ground and below-ground infrastructure. So examples of what that is are the clearing and grading for the site, utilities such as water, sewer, electrical, and other similar utilities that are underground, as well as the drainage work. So that would be the underground drainage pipes, as well as the on-ground drainage such as swells and some parts of the stormwater ponds. The asphalt and concrete work that would entail the parking area, as well as all of the walkways throughout the park, the promenade, as well as the sidewalks. And then lastly, Gibbon Street and South Church Street, the improvements to both of those streets that would widen it out, provide a little bit of parking, sidewalk, and provide better access for vehicular traffic to access the park. So the town completed a formal bid process, and so I will go over the process and criteria for that. And it's basically we follow the procedures of North Carolina law, that's North Carolina statute 143-129, as well as our own Town of Waxhaw purchasing policy, which we just readopted and updated back in September of this past year. So what those require is a multi-step process of cost or price analysis that is required for soliciting bids. That was provided to us by our consulting engineer for the project, Banesh. And Mr. John Wood will also be up on the screen too, I think, once I stop sharing this. Complete specifications must be made to all potential bidders. You formally advertise the bid in a newspaper of general circulation at least 7 full days prior to the public bid opening. And then, of course, you also get the word out by many other means through various statewide websites, listservs, other general contractors that you've worked with in the past. Just try to get the word out as far and wide as possible. We know that over 30 general contractors at least had access to reviewing the bid package, and probably more just through the advertisement process. You also take affirmative steps to solicit price quotes from minority and women business vendors and suppliers. You open the bids at the public bid opening on the date, time, and the location noticed in the public advertisement, and all must be submitted in sealed and in paper form. Minimum of 3 bids must be received in order to open all bids. A 5% bid bond is required of all bidders. Performance and payment bonds of 100% of the contract price is required of the winning bidder. Then you award the contract on a firm fixed price basis. Award the contract to the lowest responsive bidder. The governing board approval is required and cannot be delegated. The governing board may reject any and all bids only for, quote, sound documented reasons. The contract must be in writing. The document procurement procedures, and do not divide the contract for the purposes of evading competitive bid requirements. So that's straight from our Town of Waxhaw purchasing policy, section 3.8. So we received 3 bids on November 16th. We solicited the bids back in October. The 3 bids were from Polvica in the amount of $4,270,823.57. Southern Builders of York County in the amount of $2,986,657. And then J.D. Goodrum Company Incorporated in the amount of $2,898,096.86. And of course, you see here on the slideshow, the 3 bids tabulated by Banesh and Mr. John Wood, certified that they are true and accurate. And so they check all the boxes there, as you see tabulated there, with the total bid amount, and that they all provided their bid bond. They all provided their good faith effort, and of course, adhered to the addendums that were part of the bid package. So J.D. Goodrum was the lowest responsible bidder. So Mr. Wood from Banesh vetted the bid documents and certified the bid tabulations. And of course, our Parks and Rec Director, Dina, and myself were part of every bit of that process as well. And probably the thing that I can happily say the most is that it was within our budgeted scope for phase 1 of the project. You have 2 funding sources for this. Your capital improvement budget that was adopted this fiscal year, the Downtown Park Fund, as well as your recently adopted American Rescue Plan Fund. So you have $1.7 million from the CIP Downtown Park Fund, and then over $1.5 million allocated from the American Rescue Plan Fund. So J.D. Goodrum Company, they are a well-established general contracting company, have done a lot of parks and recreation work, especially in the Charlotte area. As you see, they have experience in constructing over 35 projects locally in the greater Charlotte area, including just up the road in Marvin. They've also done work in Matthews. They've done work recently in Harrisburg, where they just wrapped up a project there. Some of those projects they have on their map, I'm personally familiar with as well. They're a very good company to work with from what we understand and what we've worked through in the past. And so our requested action this evening is to award the construction contract for Downtown Park Phase 1 to J.D. Goodrum Incorporated in the amount of $2,898,096.86 and to authorize the town manager to execute said contract. And I will stop sharing the screen here for a moment, and you should see Dina is on the screen as well as Mr. Wood with Banesh. We can certainly bring that back up if we need to refer to anything, but wanted to make sure that they were both seen on screen for any questions and answers. So we're certainly happy to answer any questions that you have. John, of course, can answer anything from the more technical side probably, and then we can answer anything more from the process side. So happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Good. Well, thank you for that presentation. So I'm looking up at the screen here, and I would like to certainly recognize John for being here and Dina for joining us on this section of it. So if there are any questions, thoughts, comments, whatever, this is the time.
And one other thing to mention too, sorry, Mayor, I do believe a couple of people from J.D. Goodrum are listening in tonight as well.
Very good. All right. Thank you for that. So board members, we've designed this from the very start. We looked at every aspect of it. We believe that everybody has done their jobs and successfully so. We, as the town manager said, we've come in at budget, which is always a great thing to be. And we've been involved in this process for some time, as Dina has with Jeff, to vet this through. And I know there's been a great deal of dialogue between our team staff and the consultants. And so I'm going to look up to you guys for any questions that you might have. Thoughts?
One other thing I can mention too, Mayor, is that Banesh, while also providing the design work, will be doing the construction administration portion. After the project is awarded, then they basically turn into the construction administrator.
That's right. So John, you're not off the hook yet. So, you'd stay with us all the way through. So that'd be great. All right. So I did not see any hands go up. Jeff, I think you did a great job of presenting how we got to where we are. So I thank you for that. And I really appreciate the whole team's effort. It has been just that, a team effort going all the way through, start to finish. Every design component, every ask, every thought, request has been at least considered that we're aware of. So I guess tonight the action is on you, board, to make a motion to approve this budget.
I'm excited to get the ball rolling, so I'll make a motion to award the construction contract for the Downtown Park Phase 1 to J.D. Goodrum, Inc. in the amount of $2,898,096.86 and to authorize the town manager to execute the said contract.
Very good. All right, motion's up. You guys are changing screens on me so I can see you. So motion's up.
There we go.
All right, so motion's up for approval. I'm going to start with the Mayor Pro Tem.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Commissioner Morey,
Commissioner Maury, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Commissioner Westlick,
Commissioner Westlick, aye.
and back to Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Woohoo, I am excited to see this thing get going. Congratulations, team, on moving this every bit down the road that we needed to. John, thank you very much for your consulting help on this thing every step of the way. I know there are lots and lots and lots of questions along the way. You guys, actually, your team handled us very well. I'm impressed. So thank you for that. Dina and Jeff, thank you for helping manage this process. And we look forward to not only getting this part done, but sometime in the very, very near future to be able to look at the second phases of this thing and get that thing fully completed. So congratulations, team. You did it. Awesome. Thank you very much.
thank you very much for your support. We're looking forward to getting this big project started. Can't wait.
Awesome. All right, we'll move down to the facade improvement grant request. I'm going to go to Mr. Blair on the next presenter up. I don't see his name up on the screen yet. He's probably signing in as we speak. There he is. There's one part of you.
Yes, I was.
Here. Very
Just
good.
about to
Welcome.
do it.
You're on the screen and you're visible and the
I'm
floor
here.
is yours.
I'm here in
All right.
spirit and in voice. Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everyone. We are going to bring up a presentation of the facade improvement grant application for Mary O'Neill's, which I'm sure as everyone's familiar with. There we go. Nope. Well, I can bring up mine. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm going to bring it up from my machine. Okay, can everyone see?
There we go. It's on.
Great. Okay, so this is the building with the Mary O'Neill's restaurant at 116 West North Main Street. Just a brief reminder about the facade improvement program. It started back in 2010 when the Board of Commissioners began setting aside money to aid properties in downtown Waxhaw. And the hope was that with the improvement of those buildings, the town would become more vibrant and bring economic benefits to the larger community. The facade improvement program was put in place to assist property owners with reinvestment in historically appropriate rehabilitation of buildings that qualify to spur interest and investment in the downtown overall. Just a few facts about the program. It offers a total of $50,000 annually. The awards go up to 50% of matching grant of the cost of rehabilitation as a reimbursement. This is a reimbursement grant. If approved tonight, the work on Mary O'Neill's can begin immediately. And with all of them, the work must be completed within 2 months of the approval. But if it's not, if it does run long, a written request can be made to staff, and staff can extend that deadline for an additional 2 months. But if it goes on longer than those 2 months, it will be brought before the board to be reviewed by the Board of Commissioners. Like I said, it's a reimbursement grant, so they will submit paid invoices, canceled checks, other acceptable forms of proof of payment. And at that point, the staff will inspect the work to ensure conformance with the approved grant and the applicable town standards. So the Mary O'Neill's restaurant is actually in the Plyler Building at 116 North Main, and the application is being submitted by the manager of, or the owner of Mary O'Neill's, and that's Lee McShane, and he, I believe, is with us tonight, but I'm not sure. And if he
Probably
is-
listening.
Yes, so I'll go ahead. The facade applications require one of the following motions, either a motion for approval, approval with modifications, or a motion of denial. The proposed work for Mary O'Neill's, and you can see a picture of the building there from the street and a enlargement of the area where the work is to be done. The work includes replacing the front doors and the surrounding frames with the hardware and the ceiling and subflooring that goes with that. And then all those replacements will be painted and treated, and the frames will be painted white, double French doors painted black, all to match existing colors. The intent of this particular work is a maintenance work, just to bring things into, just to replace pieces that are starting to rot away, and but it's just to do that maintenance. The Plyler Building itself is part of historic downtown Waxhaw. It was built around 1907. There's a picture of the facade there. It's not a very old picture there, and you can see some of the historic features of it. It has the signature Corbel pendant cornice. It has brick coining. It has the typical recessed main entrance that has iron pilasters on either side, the single pane display windows that have blind transoms above them. The building itself is associated with Jonas Sanford Plyler, and he was born in 1862 in York County. He came to Union County in 1878, became a Waxhaw resident around 1900. And the quote here from the National Register of Historic Places is that he became a successful businessman during the early decade of 1900 when Waxhaw was a thriving town and the climate for industry and business was quite favorable. Around 1906, Plyler bought the Waxhaw Telephone Exchange, erected this particular building, and moved the exchange to the upper floor. He also operated an automobile garage in a building slightly west of here and at the rear of his building. According to local historians, Plyler operated a Ford dealership in the first story until around 1919, when he built a much larger automobile sales showroom 1 block east at North Main and Providence Street. That building burned down in 1931. Various physicians' offices have occupied the Plyler Building from 1930 to 1950. And since the early 1980s, the building has housed antique dealers until, I believe, Mary O'Neill's has been occupying it. So Mr. McShane worked hard to get a couple of estimates. It's not easy these days, but he found two estimates, two contractors that gave estimates that were pretty much in the ballpark of one another. Keith Robinson Construction at $11,607, Westcote Millwork at $12,100. So all of this was reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission when Mr. McShane made his presentation. And going over everything, they unanimously recommend approval of the facade improvement application. You can see the FIP number there. And this was done at their regular November 11th meeting. So staff reviewed it as well and recommends it based upon the fact that it meets the requirements of the Waxhaw Historic Landmark Guidelines. You see a cover there, the Land Development Code, and the Facade Improvement Program rules itself. So the potential motions for a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners. Motion 1 to approve, motion 2 to approve with modifications, and motion 3 to deny. And I'll bring us back to that slide just so you have the motions handy, but are there any questions at this point? And again, if Mr. McShane is on, I'd ask him to, I don't know if he's made an attempt to come on tonight. He was going to.
Might be the one phone call listener on that right now. I don't see him signed in. So I think we all understand, what this is about. Looks like a maintenance and repair item to come up. So any questions for our senior planner from the board? We all have a good understanding on it. So what I'm looking for on this one again with everybody, let's look for a motion on it. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion
All right.
to approve FIP.
All right.
Sorry.
Commissioner Morey, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'll make a motion to approve FIP 03-013046-2021 as presented, up to 50% of the actual cost of the work, not to exceed $6,050.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Morey. All right. Motion's up for approval. I'm going to start with Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Commissioner Westlake,
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Commissioner Simpson,
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Representative McMillan.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Back over to Commissioner Morey.
Menorah, aye.
Standing, I'm sure it's a much appreciated approval on this stuff. Those doors fortunately get used a lot. So hopefully they'll get to be repaired and in good working order so nobody can't get in. So anyway, Blair, thank you very much for that presentation. A lot of work I know between staff and the other boards to approve this. So looking forward to have that done. Lee, if you're on there, congratulations. And we look forward to those improvements happening real soon. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be in touch with Mr. McShane and we'll guide him through the process of getting the work done and reimbursement.
Very good. All right, we get over to the town leadership reports. So town manager, you've been talking a lot tonight and you're going to continue. So what you got?
Thank you, Mayor. Only one thing tonight. It's a reminder to the community that Waste Pro is starting the revised trash recycling, yard waste, and bulk pickup program next week, starting Monday, November 29th. We've been communicating that out on our digital platforms. Also, starting tomorrow and into the weekend, each resident will receive a physical hard copy flyer and magnet that you can keep up with the trash and recycling schedule for your resident. The magnet will have Waste Pro's phone number to directly schedule bulk pickup items, as they will be picked up every other week, starting this, not this Friday, but a week from Friday, which I believe is December 3rd. So be on the lookout at your residences over the next few days for that flyer and magnet. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Nice and simple, but it'd be nice to have that, something you can refer to. I know I will stick one either somewhere in my garage or on the side of my refrigerator somewhere to remind me of the changes. So encourage everybody to look at stuff. I think the program, it's fluid, so it can be adjusted as we go forward, but I think it's going to be a welcome change to what we've experienced in the past. So thanks, team, for getting that up and running, and we'll just monitor it as it goes on. All right, so Miss Dina should be doing her happy dance about right now because she's got a park ready to go. So Miss Dina, floor is yours. That got your tongue. There you go.
There we go. I forgot to unmute myself before I got to the screen. I was like, "Ooh, where is it?" Yeah, so I'm super excited. Yay, get to start. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Jeff did an awesome job explaining all of the process, so I appreciate that as well. So give you a heads up, we have a very busy December, and we're winding down on programs, but we're going super excited on all the events that are about to start coming up. I'll go through that. Rec Desk, you can still join us at some of our programs. We still have some room left, but that is the way you register for programs and events. So please go ahead and look at on our online, our website, and on our socials to get registered. Walking group's going to take they were on today, this morning, but they're going to take a break for this Thursday for Turkey Day. So you might need to, I would encourage everybody to take a walk after they eat and then take a good nap, but get outside and have some fun. Next week is senior coffee, and we would love to have you at the McDonald House. The team today decorated the McDonald House, so it's so charming. So please come and join us.
Are you advancing the screen on your site?
I am. Isn't that showing?
It is not. It is not moved off your start screen.
That's okay. I can do it again. Ba-ba-ba. Well,
I know you're so excited you probably pushed every button on your keyboard.
I did. The wrong one. Give me a second. What happened to those jokes, Mayor? You gotta bring me out. Help me out.
One more time. There you go. Try it now.
All righty.
See the start slide?
Yeah.
There you go.
Everybody see?
Yes.
Yay. Matt or Nick, are y'all doing it? Yes, they are.
You're on the walking club screen right now.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
you can have control.
Thank you, dear.
He's just messing with you.
I know, I'm just like, really? That's okay. There we go. Oh, too far. That's okay. So we've got cooking club that just went past us, and then we have mixology is on December the 20th. It's also, they're having fun holiday cocktails. And then we have Hero Project. We're taking this week off and coming back next week. And December 1st and the 8th, Barnes Park making ornaments. And they're actually very similar to what's on the picture there. And then at Town Creek, we're doing snowflake ornaments as well. The 8th is our final for this fall session. We're going to have a whole new agenda for our winter and spring. So look for that information coming out soon. Our events coming up, and we're going to go into all the December events. So the Menorah Lighting's coming up a week from tomorrow, the 1st, and it's in our downtown at the bandstand area near the Wall of Honor. It is a partnership with the Ballantyne Jewish Center. They are awesome. They come out to us. We have our own menorah that we light up and then place near the tracks across from Provisions. So please come and join us. Senior Christmas party is not this Friday, but next on the 3rd. Now, this one is a tradition that's been in Waxhaw for over 36 years, I think it is. And we are almost full. So if you still would like to attend, please call Ms. Joan up or go on to Rec Desk and go ahead and get your registration in. But we are almost full. But this is a wonderful way to socialize and have a great Christmas experience. I wanted to give out a special thanks to Mr. Ted and his wife, Tozer. They actually gave a donation to help out with some of the supplies for the senior Christmas party. And then we cannot forget all of our wonderful restaurants and businesses that donated our delicious meal that we're going to be serving that day. December 4th is Saturday, and that is our Festival of Lights, where downtown Waxhaw turns like a fairyland. It's very magical, all the lights. We have over 1 million twinkle lights that are going to be in the trees and the bushes. And then, of course, we have the light toppers on top of our buildings. And then we have lots of decorations. But that is a wonderful way to come with your family and make it each year, make it an annual thing to come and enjoy this with your family. We'll have some rides, we have games, we have Santa. Santa will be coming in on a fire truck around a little after we light up all downtown. It's like around 5:10, 5:15. And then he will be at the meeting place, and he will be holding court with Mrs. Claus and be able to take pictures. If you have your letters, you bring those. We have a mailbox for Santa so he can gather all those wish lists and just have a wonderful time with us. We have a trackless train. We have vendors and food trucks and lots of awesome holiday entertainment on the stage. It's just a beautiful night in Waxhaw. Dress warm and come and join us. Coming right after that is our Santa rides through the neighborhood. And I forgot to put the parade on here. The Santa is going through all of our neighborhoods and the main streets, and we'll bring out the maps coming up soon, so you'll know which night we're going where. And then each staff member from Park and Rec will be on the truck and giving out locations on our social. So you can kind of know when to step outside if it's a little too chilly. So we would love to see your smiling faces and get to enjoy Santa on back of the fire truck. The parade that I forgot to put on there, and I apologize for that, is on the 12th, and that is at 3 o'clock, and it's our downtown. Santa will be there as well, and we are going back to a traditional parade. And I know that the BOC is super excited to have their own float. And we're going to do a team float for the staff as well. But we have lots of cool participants, and I hope to see you there. Wreaths Across America is Saturday the 18th. That is held at our Waxhaw Southside Cemetery. This is where we have the privilege to honor our fallen. And it's a partnership with Arlington, Wreaths Across America program. And we were fortunate to be one of these placements. So please join us that Saturday at 12 p.m. Update about what's going on in our new park. So online now is our application for our new park name. So the contest has started. So go ahead and get the word out and share it. So you will see it on our website and then on social. We also are doing a call to artists for the artwork that will be in the park. So share as many as you can about these two wonderful programs about our upcoming new park. We're always looking for volunteers. Mr. James actually just sent out a sign up genius for all these wonderful events that are coming up. Please take a look. Love to see you there. And you get to have fun with us and just have a wonderful time in Waxhaw. We are now working on our summer and fall program guide. We're wrapping up the one for winter and spring. If you have a business, craft, a special gift that you would love to share with us, we would love to have you part of the Waxhaw team. So please contact Ms. Justine and we'll love to have you. And I'll leave you with our vision and mission, as always. As we strive to bring a quality of life, especially in our park system and our programs. If you have any questions, let me know.
All right, thanks, Dina. Appreciate that. And thank you for all that you do in helping us grow forward, step at a time, but we're noticing some significant movement. So thank you for everything that you do for our community. Any thoughts, questions, comments for Miss Dina across the board? All right, Dina, thank you again very much for all you do and all your team. I know you're going to be busy this month, so keep us going.
Yes. Oh, yes. I got you.
All right. Thanks. All right. It's time for any thoughts, comments, statements, whatever from the Board of Commissioners. Anybody willing to raise their hand and make a comment? I see Mayor Pro Tem McMillan. Please have the floor.
Just a quick comment to say I wish everyone a happy, healthy, safe, and blessed Thanksgiving with your family, friends, and friends who are like family. To the board members, staff, and all who are watching in town of Waxhaw.
Good. Thank you for that. Across the board, any other hands? Attorney Charles Buckley, any thoughts and comments that you have? Anything you wanted to say tonight?
Yes, I do, Mayor. I just want to say thank you to the board for having the confidence in me to extend the contract for another year. I look forward to working with the board in the town of Waxhaw, and I am privileged to serve, and I thank all of you very much. And happy Thanksgiving to all.
And happy Thanksgiving back to you, Charlie. Thank you for always supporting us and taking our 2,000 questions a day and answering them, giving the support that we all need. So appreciate you being here as well. So thank you, Charlie. And we look forward to working through the next period of time with you.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. So no other thoughts, comments, raised hands that I see. I'm going to see that we have nothing on the closed session portion of it. So who's going to be in the first front runner race to make a motion to adjourn? Come on, guys.
Make a
Motion to
motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Well, not all of you at the same time. All right, we have a motion to adjourn. All the way around, we'll go with Mayor Pro Tem McMillan.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Moray. Commissioner Moray, you
Commissioner
there?
Maury, aye.
There you go.
I
Commissioner
unmute you.
Westlick,
Commissioner Westlick, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
I think we got everybody. All right, it's a wrap again. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for being prepared tonight, doing all your homework, supporting the staff, asking the questions that you need to. So thank you all for that. It's been a real pleasure. So thank you. Good night, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You.
Good night. Happy Thanksgiving.